from defense?
Yeah. Structurally, are you considering doing something else, or is it an effort thing, or?
There's a lot of things that went into it tonight, I felt, but there is a reason that this happens. This isn't, by, you only get so lucky so many times. I thought tonight, for instance, our carelessness with the ball led into some easy threes. I thought we lost our discipline defensively several times. To me, several's like 6 or 7 that led to open shots, and they hit 3 or 4 threes there. We doubled the post some and gave up one there, so that's schematic for sure. But, and then I was very conservative tonight, I thought, in the way, we had one day of practice, and so I felt like maybe I should take some of our bigger wings off a guy like Coleman Lands or even Abrams. But Abrams came in shooting 18% from 3, 17.8, and he goes 4 for 5, And so, but after he made 2, it doesn't matter if he's shooting 1%. You got to get to him. But I was really slow to maybe take my point guard off Lucas, bring a bigger wing onto Lucas, who's more of a non-threat from 3, and you just got to stay in front of him, and that hurt us too because then I put our guys in some bad situations. So I think we collectively all kind of screwed it up, and yeah.
The guard play, you talked about their guard play walking into this one. Did they throw some kinks out on the perimeter for you guys?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the Lucas kid, Te'Jon Lucas, is really, his numbers are really good defensively if you look at him. And I was so impressed with his ability to stay in front of whoever he was choosing to guard. I mean, he could almost one-on-one ice that guy out. And that affected, you could see that affected some of our guys here and there. Just a reluctance to shoot, try and make a play. But what I'm most concerned about is our discipline, our careless. I thought we were careless, so we lack discipline, right? I mean, I think that'd be an easy statement to make on offense, that we lack discipline. When 7 different guys have multiple turnovers, if that's how careless you are, then you're certainly not creating for others, making the extra pass, driving to create. It's like everybody catches it, bounces it, wants to just do their own thing. Now, maybe that's for all the right reasons. Maybe you're trying to make a play, or you're, I'm going to make something happen for, but it still has a negative consequence. And that's where poise and discipline come in. So I thought our carelessness killed us too, especially on offense. There was really, little or no rhythm to what we were doing. And then, they get 8 steals the second half. And so you can't give a team, that's been playing very well defensively, those kind of opportunities. And they've done this before. This is not, they've done this and played really well here at the end. They had their hiccups at the beginning of the year, but he's got a nice blend of young guys and veteran guys. And Malcolm Hill's an all-league player. He's already been an all-league player. So we knew we were going to have our hands full with him. But I think making Abrams a star tonight, I'm happy for Tracy because I've seen him go through, I think he was a junior when I got here. And he's gone through all these knee surgeries and all these things to come back. And, he's really playing well. And so I was very impressed with the way they played.
Was Glenn attacking like you want, or was that just a Lucas?
I think part of it was Lucas. I really do think part of it was Lucas. And then Glenn will ruminate, too. He'll overthink it a little bit. And, he ran away. I don't know if you noticed, but, he ran away from the ball about 3 or 4 times in the second half where he gave it to Ty early for Ty to initiate offense. And that tells you something, without telling you anything. So I thought they did a really good job on him. They obviously made him a huge key. He also, banged his thumb early in the game that, for a while just kind of, you could tell he was working that out, like jammed his thumb. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's probably not enough to, unless there's something more serious there. But
do you feel like his aggression comes and goes a little bit during the course of the season? Has that been the case?
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard for him to put multiple games in a row together, and that's something we have to improve that consistency with him, with all of our guys.
Do you think you've had some of this with Pettaway and with Siobhan. Do you think guys are deferring to Ty too much on offense, or is it, I mean, have you tracked that or noticed it?
Yeah, well, I don't think Ty's the same personality, and we've had other games where Glenn's taken over at the end of the game just 2 games ago, against Ohio State. I think it's more what I already said with Glenn. I do think he'll defer to Evan too. I mean, not just Ty, but Ty is bound and determined to make a play, and that can work against you too. So as we've seen previously, but tough night. But you got to credit Illinois. They played tremendous defense. They stole the ball. All the things we talked about, how well they were playing with their hands and how they're getting in gaps and turning people over. That's exactly what they did to us. And they had they ran their offense through Malcolm, where he could go isolation and get you, or he could create for others. And when he did create for others, they made you pay. Jalen Coleman-Land hit threes. For a while they went inside against Jordy on Maverick Morgan, and then certainly Tracy Abrams really hurt us.
Mike said that this was kind of a point where it would be easy for guys to jump ship, but the key was the team has to stay together. I guess as a coach, what do you have to do to keep this thing from falling apart? And is that something you think can be done?
We're with these guys like almost every day of the year. So for us, it's part of the journey. I don't, even though our season's coming to a conclusion, the journey's a bigger deal, right? So I don't worry about shutting down. To me, we have 3 Illinois kids who are dying to play well and tried to do too much. Roby tried to do too much early and made some defensive errors too. Edward, tried to drive 2 or 3 times, which, we've seen him do sometimes, but not consecutively like that in a game. Ask him, Ed, what's going on? I'm trying to make a play. Sometimes some other, emotional things get in the way too. These guys won't quit and they won't fall apart. Now, we played poorly. And it's my job to get us playing better immediately and get ready for Minnesota, because Minnesota's really good, and so is Michigan. It doesn't get easier. So, Illinois is playing as good at basketball as any. It's hard to find somebody 4 through 12. Because you get a team playing well for 3 or 4 games, they can do damage to you. We've done it to people, and we've had it done to us. Anything else?
Coach, one more.
No, that's all right.
Jariah said that you guys have a tendency to kind of not be the attacker and kind of.
Yeah, he told me that too. So the last 2 minutes, I just asked. I talked to Ty and Michael and Jariah and Edward, and I just said, guys, what talk to me here. Like, do you think we were not locked? Did you feel like you're in the bad spots? What was going on? Like I told Jack, I feel like I had you chasing the wrong guys. He goes, well, I should have done. Yeah, but coach, I can do that. These kids, want to be personally accountable. And I know I skipped over on your question, but Jariah, what was your question? So what was your question again? You got to ask me.
Well, why do you think that tends to happen? And you guys not being the attackers, instead kind of waiting.
Yeah, the punch. So, Jariah said to me on the bench, Coach, sometimes I think when we get punched, we're like, okay, let's just play through this. So let's just kind of manage it, instead of fighting back. I thought we only fought back for about 6 or 7 minutes in the second half, where it felt like we were really, a team that was out there running their stuff, playing defense with the vinegar and grit that we needed to, and it just didn't feel that way. Even in the first half, the score was close. Just didn't feel like we were there. And I pleaded with them. I yelled at them. I tried the whole thing tonight, but ultimately we weren't up to it. And Illinois was. And Illinois played excellent basketball, and we couldn't match it. We couldn't get them out of their rhythm. And we were too careless and lacked the discipline to do it. And we got to fix that now. All right.